What up, Detroit? It's Rob Parker, and coming up on Shop Talk, former Lions receiver Herman Moore drops by and talks about the thrill of playing on Thanksgiving Day. Also, we debate, was the NFL heavy-handed in suspending Adrian Peterson for the rest of the season without pay? Plus, we have a feature on black kids playing tennis again, a new route to success in athletics. Shop Talk starts right now. Some people think the best place to talk about sports is on the radio. No way, no how. It's in the barbershop. I should know. I'm a sports analyst. Detroit is a 5-point favorite. Devin, save your money, I know. And I own a barbershop in Detroit. And the cats in the barbershop, they think they know everything about sports.
Get ready for Rob Parker's Shop Talk. Real sports, real talk.
Shop Talk TV is brought to you by Bob Maxey Ford and by Wingstop. Also, Nick's Chips.
This is Shop Talk.
Welcome into Shop Talk on this Saturday. I'm Rob Parker. Let's kick it off with Getting Robbed, where you get my take on the biggest sports stories of the week. We start with the Lions, who again are on the road against the New England Patriots. Big game, big-time quarterback on the road. Most are already conceding that the Lions can't win this game, and that's really the problem. Here are the Lions, 7-3. No one has confidence that they can go in and beat a good team on the road. You will not change the perception of how good you are until you're able to win a game like this. Michigan has kicked off defensive end Frank Clark from its football team after he was charged with domestic violence against his girlfriend in Ohio. Michigan did not waste any time. They felt they had significant evidence to just make the move and not wait for proceedings in the legal system. They just decided that it was time for Frank Clark to go. It's a sad story, but of course, if you know his history, he's already had a number of run-ins with the law. And finally, baseball has a new money king. Giancarlo Stanton signed a 13-year, $325 million contract with the Miami Marlins, an unbelievable record-setting deal. In fact, this is the reason black kids should get back to playing baseball. Baseball owns 21 of the 22 highest contracts in the history of American sports. So, fathers out there, go buy your son a ball and a glove for this Christmas. Scratch that football off the list. Baseball is the loot king. Getting Robbed is sponsored by Fathead. For real. Now it's time for the big debate. It's sponsored by Bob Maxey, the only Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer in downtown Detroit. To reach him, call 313-392-9200 or visit them on the web at bobmaxeyford.com. This past week, the NFL suspended Adrian Peterson for the rest of the season without pay after he copped a plea on charges of child abuse. And I'm going to start with you, Vince. Was the NFL over the top, or was this the correct punishment?
Obviously, he did something wrong, so there should have been a punishment. But I do think they got it wrong. I think his time served should have been enough. But, you know, with the Ray Rice thing, he was the next guy that got in trouble after Ray Rice, so you knew they were going to bring the hammer down.
JB, you know what? There's a morals clause when you sign an NFL contract. You still think it's too tough?
Yeah, I think it's tough. And I feel like it's tough because they're trying to build the book as they go. They're trying to punish them more, make punishments, then charge them with those punishments. And I think it's unfair.
I'll say this. Before everybody, and Mo, I'm going to get to you. You got to remember when you work for these kind of corporations, I'll give you the perfect example. Marv Albert was the voice of the NBA on NBC. In 1997, after he had sexual assault charges, and he copped a plea, what happened? NBC fired Marv Albert, who was the voice of NBA basketball, for 20 years because of their moral clause in their contract, and Marv Albert was canned. Mo, this has happened before to big people in big positions.
Well, I think they handled it right. He should not be playing. You know what I'm saying? You get in trouble, you get penalized, and these are the repercussions and consequences that you're going to have to do. So by you sitting out not getting paid, oh, well, you should have thought about that before what you did and gave the kid a whooping or something like that. Whatever, but everything that you did.
It was more than a whooping. I hope people could, when you start breaking skin, I think that's where you cross the line.
It's a beating then.
Cal, what about you? Are you with this or are you against?
I'm on the fence because, you know, now you get into the area where it's like
is everyone going to get punished for every discipline? If you're disciplining your child, it's like you're stepping into the home and the freedom thing starts to take place.
You're a father, you have kids, and I get that. I don't think people are trying to come into your house to have you disciplining your kids. Right. But when a kid's taken to the hospital with open wounds, come on, you gotta.
No, I agree. I think it was a little much, and it was like it was harsh. But I think you're starting to overstep those boundaries into parenting. You know what I'm saying?
It's a slippery slope. JB, will he ever play in the NFL again or with the Vikings?
Of course he'll play NFL again. He's going to play for the Vikings. I believe he's going to play for the Vikings. Very productive player. Last season, over 1,300 yards. He's going to play. Good to go.
No, he's not playing. He's not going to play for the Vikings no more. It's a wrap because he was going to play for them. They would have tried to do their best and they worked their hardest to get him reinstated back again to start playing now. Teddy Bridgewater don't need him now. They need him now. He's one of the greatest running backs ever.
Is he going to play for the Vikings?
I don't think he's going to play for the Vikings, but he's still one of the best running backs in the league. I think he's going to play again.
He plays again. I don't think he plays for the Vikings. I think they start over, use the cap space to go ahead and start over. But unlike Ray Rice, he's still a productive player. So someone will definitely be signing him. So his career is not over.
See, that's the big thing. I think you're right. He is productive. He's still a big-time player. But I think sometimes you need a change of scenery. You need somewhere else to go. I don't know, maybe the Oakland Raiders or somewhere, you know what I mean, like that. Right, that's what I'm saying, or some team like that.
Dallas, where he's from.
Because other teams, they're going to address their issues by the time his contract can even be negotiated again. He's not touched until, what, April 2015?
Right, and see, the other thing, too, is with the money and the situation that they have because of the cap, Vince, you know this. This is one of those things, if you're the Vikings, you got them on the table, you could just say, let me pull the plug and I could use that money.
And just start all over anyway, because you think, look at the Vikings team anyway, they probably need to start over anyway.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. I believe the NFL got it right. I do. I don't see how they could put him back on the field after he copped the plea. People don't understand, even though it's a lesser charge, you still admit in writing that you were criminally negligent in this situation, and that violates a morals clause.
Check out the Shop Talk Rundown. Here's what's coming up. More Shop Talk is on the way. Stick and stay, Detroit.
If you're looking for a used car, come on down to Bob Maxey Ford on Jefferson in downtown Detroit. Pick up the phone and call Zach and the crew at 888-396-6081. And mention Shop Talk and get an extra $500 off your trade-in.
For the latest in computer technology for Mac and PC, check out Southfield Computer Outlet, 28901 Southfield Road, or call them at 248-557-2222.
Serving up hot fashions and style, it's the Restaurant Fashion Bistro Boutique at 18236 West 10 Mile Road in Southfield. Give them a call at 313-449-3603. Open 7 days a week. Looking for t-shirts, clothing, and gifts? Well, check out t-shirtpalace.com. Shop t-shirts or create your own design and upload it. Go to t-shirtpalace.com and get started.
Now it's time for Homeboy Highlights.
This week's homeboy is Detroit Piston forward Kyle Singler. Against the Grizzlies, Kyle was 5 for 7 from downtown, 6 for 6 from the line. He had 4 rebounds, 2 steals, all in 26 minutes of play. Congratulations, Kyle Singler. You are this week's homeboy. Homeboy Highlights is sponsored by Detroit's new ABA team, the Coast to Coast All-Stars. Check them out at DetroitCoastToCoast.com.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
The Walk-In is sponsored by Fifth Tavern in Bloomfield Hills. All right, we welcome in, of course, Herman Moore, one of the all-time great receivers for the Detroit Lions. You still got good hands?
Oh, come on, man.
Come on,
always.
catch that.
You gotta tell me he's throwing it. I mean,
You still
caught it though,
you
right?
still caught it. We'll
What's
take
up?
that.
What's up, man?
All right, appreciate it. Let's talk about the Lions, of course, and their success. And Thanksgiving Day game is coming up on Thursday. They play the Chicago Bears. Tell me first about playing on Thanksgiving Day and what that's like.
Oh, come on, man. You know, Rob, it's on Thanksgiving, that's the biggest game for the Lions. And that's like a lot of people used to tease and say that's our Super Bowl. But
Well, it was back then.
yeah, but, you know, it's one of those games where it's pivotal. It's one of those games that you own. And for us, it's tradition. And it's one of those deals where you go out regardless of the opponent. You got to have a victory. It's at home. And it's just a big game. A lot of atmosphere, the energy of the crowd. And it just turns out to be a real nice game.
Well, talk about the Bears because, you know, it looks like they've kind of blown up. They've played really poorly against Green Bay a couple of weeks ago. But if you're the Lions, you got to be careful because they have some pride. It's a rivalry game. Is that like a trap game?
It could be a trap game. You know, you look at Chicago. They've had some real problems in their locker room. Mark Trestman, who was a coach that I had the privilege of actually being with when he's here with the Lions. You know, he's a quarterback's coach before he came from San Francisco. And for whatever reason, a lot of people say he's lost that team. And the locker room, you can't have that type of dissension in their locker room and expect to be able to go out and compete at a high level. And it's surprising being the fact, you know, Rob, these guys, they have a lot of talent offensively, and you just can't let your guard down against them.
We have a lot of debate, and you obviously there were a carousel of quarterbacks when you were playing for the Lions, and no one of Matt Stafford's ability. But what do you make of Matt Stafford? I mean, we see him make the big plays late in the game, but there are a lot of times where you say, what is this guy doing? You know, he misses receivers. His quarterback rating isn't great, but he seems to win games.
I think I look at it and I go, he's winning games. Yeah, a lot of people will say that's the defense. And Terrell Austin, those guys have done a great job of getting the ball back, but the offense has got to step up. They got to be able to put points on the board. They got to be able to score in all the quarters, and not just, you know, early on and then have to have these amazing comebacks. So I look at Stafford. I think he's tough. I think he's maturing as a quarterback. There's a lot of knock on his mechanics, but I say if he can get it done, as long as he's hitting guys, I don't really care how the ball gets there. As a former player or someone who's observing, I think that Stafford still has some growth to do. I don't think you can still put him in that category as those elite guys that are winning championships and are really controlling their team that way. But I think he still has that ability.
And real quick, there's a big debate about wide receivers and the greatest of all time. And, of course, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. Some of the young kids want to put Megatron in there. For you, if you had to pick just one guy, I'm going to take Megatron. I'm going to say Jerry Rice or Randy Moss, only because his career is not complete.
Oh, you have to, and I'm gonna stay with Jerry Rice because of the championships, the fact that he's done it at all clutch times of the game. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a regular game or whether or not it's a Super Bowl, and he shows up and he shows out. So when you have a player like that, you can't take anything away from Jerry. And 20,000 or whatever, how many yards he's got, hey man, that's consistency over a long period of time.
Okay, one more try. Here we go. Let's try it again. Come on, get your hands out.
Come on.
I know, wasn't that crazy?
Bam,
All right,
bam, and the tuck.
There you go.
Okay.
And for coming to the shop, we appreciate you. We have a $25 gift certificate to Fifth Tavern on Telegraph in Bloomfield Hills.
Always a pleasure.
Enjoy
man.
lunch. You
Always,
know that.
Rob.
Always, buddy.
Man.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Our walk-in guest segment is sponsored in part by Fifth Tavern, located on Telegraph Road in Bloomfield Hills. At Fifth Tavern, we cook with the heart.
More Shop Talk is on the way. Stick and stay, Detroit. For the best sports coverage on the web, go to theshadowleague.com. Coverage with a cultural perspective. Check it out.
You want to keep your car moving? Come to Royal Oak Auto Care. It's the complete auto repair center. Domestic, European, Asian, no matter what make or model, you want to come and see them. 31313 Woodward Avenue in Royal Oak, located next to Dugan's Irish Pub, or call 248-629-7576.
If you're looking for a used car, come on down to Bob Maxey Ford on Jefferson in downtown Detroit. Pick up the phone and call Zach and the crew at 888-396-6081. And mention Shop Talk and get an extra $500 off your trade-in.
Serving up hot fashions and style, it's the Restaurant Fashion Bistro Boutique at 18236 West 10 Mile Road in Southfield. Give them a call at 313-449-3603. Open 7 days a week.
Talking Twitter.
Miles Jackson at Eyes on the Prize says it'll be rough for the Lions. Stafford's no good. The line can't block. They run patterns short of the first. Hashtag the offense sucks.
If you want to trash anyone or anything in sports, hit us up on our Twitter. Time to change gears. Here's Hip Hop News.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Elle Beasley, and here's the latest in hip hop news. A production team is going after Birdman's record label for not giving up the Cash Money. Orange Factory Music partnered up with Cash Money Records to handle production for former signee Jay Sean's debut album, All or Nothing. After the release of the 2009 album, they said it took 2 years for them to see a check, which was for $211,000. Since then, the producers have received royalty statements, but no more money from the label. Cash Money Records, not Jay Sean, is being sued for $1 million. In other news, Snoop posted an image on Instagram hinting at a Los Angeles response to Eminem's recent single. With Eminem's feature-heavy Detroit vs. Everybody anthem quickly making the rounds on the internet earlier this week, Snoop Dogg took to his Instagram account to hint at a possible LA response and a remix of the track. Snoop's Instagram post mimics the single artwork for the latest Shady 15 song and collects a group of West Coast rappers that seem like potential collaborators on the Los Angeles vs. Everybody response. Besides himself, the following artists are listed in the image: The Game, Tyler the Creator, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, YG, Problem, Nipsey Hussle, Crooked I, Corrupt, and Dom Kennedy. And finally, Detroit's leading mixtape DJ, Young Mace, releases another promotional video featuring Obi Trice, Willie the Kid, LAD, and Quest McCody. The official Michigan remix for DJ Khaled's I Did For My Dogs was filmed at Detroit's Westside Community Recreation Center by Moolah Films. Young Mace also releases the cover for this year's Detroit 2K14 mixtape. Big Sean, Dusty McFly, Big Bus, Icewear Vezo, and Mace all give props to players of the past and present from the Detroit Pistons. Detroit K214 drops November 26th exclusively on RapCityDetroit.com. All right, that's the news. I'm your girl, Elle Beasley. See you next week.
It's Shop Talk's Cut of the Week.
Hey, what's going on? I'm D. This is my man G. He rocking the nice little all even Corvadas. Nice natural line, taper in the back. Check him out. Come holler at us at Sporty Cut.
All right, now it's time for No Way, No How, where we preview the Lions' upcoming game this week. No Way, No How is sponsored by Dick Scott Dodge on West Ann Arbor Road in Plymouth. Call our dude, Antoine Bedford, 877-746-3820. We welcome in D-Jack, our resident football expert here at the shop. How you doing? Lions coming off a loss on the road against a good team, and this week they travel to Foxborough to play the Patriots, another good team on the road. Tom Brady, Lions 7-3, but the Patriots are 8-2. How do you see this one?
I don't see it close. Just for the simple fact, the Patriots' offense is really going. I think Matthew Stafford is going to struggle to deal with Bill Belichick's defense. If you see what he did to Peyton Manning, I think I'll do to Matthew Stafford. Another key thing is Matthew Stafford is 0-11 against quarterbacks with a winning record on the road at their house.
Right.
I don't see that changing.
Right. That's the big problem, is that the Lions' offensive line isn't good. We saw that. Matthew Stafford, when he's pressured. Last week, of course, no touchdowns. First time in 5 years the Lions didn't have a touchdown in the game. That says a lot.
That says a whole lot. And one thing I think we have to look at, the fact that the offense is struggling is really not a surprise to me, because if you remember, Rob, in past years they were always coming from behind, prevent defenses, garbage
They were throwing
yards.
a lot of yards and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Now the defense is actually good, so they stay close. So teams play their full defense against the Lions all the time.
Is this the biggest test for the Lions' defense? I mean, could we see them get shredded here, or is that not possible?
Without question. I think it's the biggest test for the Lions defense because it's Tom Brady, and right now they have the running game going and they're on the road. Without question, the biggest test of the year.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those. I think most Lions fans have already accepted that this will be a loss, which I think is kind of nonsense because Tom Brady can be beaten, but I know most have already accepted that they're going to be 7-4.
Well, if you remember, Rob, a couple of years ago in the preseason, the Lions defensive line drove the Patriots crazy. Even though
Preseason didn't count. Didn't count.
Okay.
Give me a score.
Score, I got the Patriots 38, the Lions 14.
Ask me if I think the Lions going to beat the Patriots.
Rob, do you think the Lions are going to beat the Patriots?
No way, no how. And I give the Lions losing 35-14 is the score.
Serving up hot fashions and style, it's the Restaurant Fashion Bistro Boutique at 18236 West 10 Mile Road in Southfield. Give them a call at 313-449-3603. Open 7 days a week.
You want to keep your car moving? Come to Royal Oak Auto Care. It's the complete auto repair center. Domestic, European, Asian, no matter what make or model, you want to come and see them. 31313 Woodward Avenue in Royal Oak, located next to Dugan's Irish Pub, or call 248-629-7576.
If you're looking for a used car, come on down to Bob Maxey Ford on Jefferson in downtown Detroit. Pick up the phone and call Zach and the crew at 888-396-6081. And mention Shop Talk and get an extra $500 off your trade-in.
Now it's time for At the Movies with Greg.
Greg. Jennifer. How are you? Good, how are you? I'm good. Good. My cheeks hurt. From all the smiling and laughing? Just smiling.
It's just hilarious to see you, when you're doing that role. Because it's like you said, she just says whatever's on her mind.
Yeah.
And,
no qualms, no apologies.
No.
Just says it like it is.
Right. And even when she's having the little meeting in her office.
Yeah.
Most people would lie and say,
it's
an
an
AA meeting or something.
That was such an uncomfortable day. Those poor girls, that little older lady, and then is that what you're talking about when they're showing the surveillance footage? Yeah. And then I just kept saying more and more insane things every take, and I just felt so terrible saying that because they were just innocently sitting there. But yeah.
Yeah, because they did look. So that wasn't even acting for them. That was just them going, "Oh my God,
yeah,
I can't believe this is coming out of Jennifer's mouth."
They were so cute. Yeah, it's true.
And I made the joke during the first one to Charlie, and I even told him again today. I said, "Okay, I can see some of the other problems, that are going on with things with bosses." I said, "But once again, your now former boss, Jennifer Aniston, wants you. Where's the problem?"
That's what I said.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, that goes to show you there's a lot of fantasy that goes on in movies at times.
Sex addiction? Found this gentleman out in your hall.
Would you like to share with us?
Just been getting together with the guys.
At the Movies with Greg is sponsored by Nick's Chips. Grab a bag and enjoy.
Here's the Instagram shop of the day.
Check out Aaron's Haircuts, located at 8545 Grand River Avenue in Detroit. Give them a call at 313-522-9987.
If you want your shop featured, hit us up on our Instagram account, Shoptalk TV.
Football and basketball has always been the #1 sports in Southeast Michigan. But for Phoenix Williams, it's tennis and only tennis.
Good. Come on the right, Phil.
Meet Phoenix Williams, a 13-year-old who spends plenty of time on the tennis courts. His love for the game is like playing chess.
Well, I like it because it's like a moving kind of chess game. And I was always the kind of person who's like kind of hyperactive. So like I don't like just sitting down and playing chess. I like moving around and hitting the ball. And like it's a type of chess game where you can be too early, too late, or you can be perfect on time with every shot. And it's constant strategy you have to think of.
Who says being smart and an athlete can't work?
You can be smart and play tennis and, you know, of course, you have to be smart in order to play tennis because there's lots of strategies and stuff that it's involved with tennis, and it's really a mental sport. So I think that I like to show other people that I'm really, really smart, and also that I can articulate myself with words and on the court.
Again, lead with the right shoulder. Again, punch. Hold the throw of the racket for stability. Come on.
The best success is to work on one's skills. Here's Coach Ronnie Parker.
For right now, it's just his progression right now is this: fundamentals, point play, and as well as strategy right now. And his ideal goal for get a ranking, get a Midwest ranking, a national ranking, and up the food chain.
Do you see yourself going pro?
Definitely. That is my goal, and my dream is to definitely become professional.
Shanari Williams, the mother of Phoenix.
Whether or not he goes pro or not, he has the ability to do so. Whether or not he's successful at anything, what I want him to know and take out of this and what it's about is him understanding he has the power to decide. And once he decides to do whatever he wants to do, he's perfectly capable of doing it.
There's always opportunities to become more involved in tennis. Contact your local schools or recreational centers. For more information, I'm Antoine Marshall with Shoptalk TV.
Now it's time for a segment we call What You Sportin'. What You Sportin' is sponsored by the Restaurant Fashion Bistro on 10 Mile and Southfield Road. All right, we have a new twist for the sneaker challenge. Of course, it's fall, winter's going to be here. Let's see who's got the best boots. How's that? We welcome in Juno, and of course we welcome in Coach Ken Flowers from Henry Ford. Juno, what you sporting?
I'm sporting the Crispy Weeks. Can't go wrong with the Crispy Weeks.
They go with everything.
They go with everything.
You know that. All right, Coach, what you got? What you sporting?
I got the fresh black Nike boots, ACGs. You know, they ain't really crispy, but they do.
What, you downplaying? You already trying to throw yourself? You know what? I don't know. We got a disqualification here or something? Juno, put your wheats up there. You know what?
Yeah, they crispy though.
He are. And I'm gonna tell you, he is right. You can't go wrong with Tim's, the wheat. Juno is the winner. That's our show for this week. Make sure you have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.
Interested in sponsorship or advertising on Shoptalk TV? Give us a call at 313-948-6100.